What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here, and welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus check update, today 2021, as well as the infrastructure package and the next stimulus package, as well as what is going on in the world today. It looks like President Joe Biden changed his mind again. Uh, yeah, things are absolutely crazy right now in the negotiations between the Republicans and the Democrats. I'm going to show you exactly what President Biden said, his statement about the next infrastructure package and the next stimulus package, which their fates are kind of intertwined, which, of course, there's about 20 different items they're negotiating on in the next stimulus package, or the next, they call it the American Families Plan, with a possible fourth stimulus check, possible monthly recurring stimulus checks every single month, that it would be very similar to the child tax credits, but for people who qualify for the third stimulus check. The child tax credits are monthly checks that are going to start going out to children on July 15th of $250 to $300 per month per child. That's already passed for 1 year. They want to extend that until 2025 or permanently. There's also 3 different Social Security raise proposals, an expansion of Medicare to include hearing, dental, vision, and hearing aids completely for free at no additional cost for Medicare, as well as a possible up to $25,000 home buyer credit. 2 years of free preschool, 2 years of free community college. That is an absolute game changer, as well as possible student loan debt forgiveness and other types of debt forgiveness as well. Yeah, there's a lot that they're talking about could be in this next package. I'll keep you up to date on all of that. But first, let's go to what President Joe Biden just said. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates. New videos come out every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and subscribing is completely free. Also, hit the like button for us. That is completely free to do so also, and it helps out our channel. Okay, first, here's President Biden's remarks from yesterday, right after, a few hours after he made a deal with the bipartisan group from the Senate, from the Republicans and the Democrats, for the smaller physical infrastructure package.
That we will have voted on this bill, as well, the infrastructure bill, as well as voted on the budget resolution. And that's when they'll, but if only one comes to me, I'm not, if this is the only thing that comes to me, I'm not signing it. It's in tandem. The bipartisan bill from the very beginning was understood there's going to have to be the second part of it. I'm not just signing the bipartisan bill and forgetting about the rest that I proposed. I proposed a significant piece of legislation in 3 parts. And all 3 parts are equally important. And by the way, my party, everybody tells me what my party is. My party's divided. Well, my party is divided. My party's divided, but my party is also rational. If they can't get every single thing they want, but all that they have in the bill that before them is good, are they going to vote no? I don't think so.
Now, this response partially came from Nancy Pelosi, the House Speaker and leader of the Democrats in the House of Representatives, that she would say no to the Senate compromise on the infrastructure bill without also passing the House reconciliation bill or the next stimulus package, saying that they needed to pass in the Senate both the physical infrastructure package and then the social infrastructure package, which is the next stimulus package, and then the House would vote on them both at the same time. Now, Nancy Pelosi and both President Biden did say they can pass the second package, the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, through the reconciliation process, you know, this good old card here, which means the Democrats are likely going to pass it on their own. That's what I've been saying this whole time. It's like a 99% chance they're going to pass the next stimulus package on their own, because no Republicans voted yes on the third stimulus check package, so it would only make sense that they won't vote yes on the fourth stimulus check package. But as I'm kind of seeing all this information, I kind of asked you guys, do you think Nancy Pelosi went off and did this on her own and kind of caught the president off guard? And then the president came afterwards and said, yeah, I agree. I don't want to pass the infrastructure package unless they pass the stimulus package at the same time? Or did Nancy Pelosi and Biden plan that ahead of time? I personally think that Nancy Pelosi just kind of came out and said that on her own. She's a very strong-willed person, just like now Senate Minority Mitch McConnell, leader of the Republicans. He used to do that all the time, including against former President Trump when they were Republican. Mitch McConnell would go against President Trump all the time. And I think that she just kind of spoke this out and maybe wasn't thinking or maybe didn't care. She's trying to put an insurance policy to make sure the next stimulus package passes after they pass the infrastructure package. I personally don't see a problem doing that. And I've said that to you guys over the last couple videos here that I think if they pass just the infrastructure package together as a bipartisan bill, that's actually a good thing, because it shows Senator Joe Manchin, who's like probably the only person that would possibly even say no to the next stimulus package. Of course, they're going to have to negotiate between just the Democrats. But Joe Manchin, he'll kind of grandstand a little bit and say, "Well, I don't know about this, I don't know about that." But ultimately, they'll only have to negotiate between the Democratic Party. So I think that I'll show you President Biden's statement here, but I don't see anything bad. And again, I'm not Democrat, I'm not Republican. I don't see anything bad for the next stimulus package passing the infrastructure package first by itself. I always thought that was the plan. Even Senator Joe Manchin said he knows the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, is going to have to be passed through reconciliation, which means he needs to vote yes on it. He knows this. He made a public statement saying this, and he voted yes on the third stimulus check package. So I really don't see any problems here. But there's this big controversy here on, and even Mitch McConnell said that Joe Biden kind of went back on their deal 2 hours later after they came to an agreement on the physical infrastructure package. And that 2 hours later, he had to come out and say, after Nancy Pelosi said that they're not going to pass that deal unless they also pass the next stimulus package through the reconciliation process. Well, President Biden has been kind of in a pickle because of this, and a lot of the Republicans are saying maybe we should back out if they're already throwing ultimatums at us. And well, here's what President Biden did today. Check this out. As you can see here, statement by President Joe Biden on the bipartisan infrastructure framework today, June 26th. He says, on Thursday, I reached a historic agreement with the bipartisan group of senators on a $1.2 trillion infrastructure package to transform our physical infrastructure. The plan would make the largest investment in infrastructure in history, the biggest investment in rail since the creation of Amtrak, and the largest investment in transit ever. It would fix roads and bridges, make critical investments in our clean energy future, and help this country compete with China and other economic rivals. It would replace lead water pipes in our schools and houses and connect every American to high-speed internet. I'm also interested to see if we might see more internet stimulus money to Americans. As you guys know, that emergency broadband benefit program that paid $50 per month for thousands of our viewers and probably millions of Americans. I wonder if they'll extend that or have more money for that in the future based on them talking about that every American is going to have access to high-speed internet. It would create millions of high-paying jobs that could not be outsourced. In the days since, the primary focus in Washington has not been about the plan's scope, scale, or provisions, but rather how it relates to other legislation before Congress, My American Families Plan, which you guys know as the next stimulus package. The American Families Plan would make historic investments in education, healthcare, childcare, tax cuts for families. That's interesting. Tax cuts for families could mean money directly in your pocket. A stimulus check is actually a tax credit, which puts money in your pocket as well. Coupled with other investments in care for our seniors, Medicare expansion, maybe Social Security benefits, housing, and clean energy, has broad support with American people, but not among Republicans in Congress, which is why I've kind of always been saying that it's going to have to be passed through the reconciliation process. I have been clear from the start that it was my hope the infrastructure plan could be one that the Democrats and Republicans could work together on. While I would seek to pass my American Families Plan and other provisions through the process known as reconciliation, there has been no doubt about my intention to proceed this way. At a press conference after announcing the bipartisan agreement, I indicated that I would refuse to sign the infrastructure bill if it was sent to me without my American Families Plan, the next stimulus package, and other priorities, including clean energy. That statement understandably upset some Republicans who do not see the two plans as linked, which is very true. They are hoping to defeat my family's plan, the next stimulus package, and do not want their support for the infrastructure plan to be seen as aiding passage of the American Families Plan. My comments also created the impression that I was issuing a veto threat on the very plan I had just agreed to, which was certainly not my intent. So again, he says, my comments also created the impression that I was issuing a veto threat on the very plan I just agreed to, which was certainly not my intent, which is very different than what he said in the video that I just showed you here a few minutes ago. He says, so to be clear, our bipartisan agreement does not preclude Republicans from attempting to defeat my family's plan. Likewise, they should have no objections to my devoted efforts to pass the American Families Plan and other proposals in tandem. We will let the American people and Congress decide. The bottom line is this: I gave my word to support the infrastructure plan, and that's what I intend to do. I intend to pursue the passage of that plan, which Democrat and Republicans agreed to on Thursday, with vigor. It would be good for the economy, good for our country, and good for our people. I fully stand behind it without reservation or hesitation. Some other Democrats have said they might oppose the infrastructure plan because it omits items they think are important, aka making it smaller. He says that is a mistake, in my view. This is Senator Bernie Sanders has actually said this too. Some Republicans now say that they might oppose the infrastructure plan because I'm also trying to pass the American Families Plan. That is also a mistake, in my view. I intend to work hard to get both of them passed because the country needs both. I ran a winning campaign for president that promised to deliver on both. No one should be surprised that is precisely what I am doing. I will ask Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer to schedule both the infrastructure plan and the reconciliation bill for action in the Senate. I expect both to go to the House, where I will work with Speaker Nancy Pelosi on the path forward after the Senate action. Ultimately, I'm confident that Congress will get both to my desk so I can sign each bill promptly. Wow. So President Biden's kind of changed his mind twice, or changed his wording, whatever you want to consider it, twice now within 24 hours. As you can see here, it's a very fine line to get these bills passed. If the bill's too small, you lose Democratic votes. If the bill's too large, you lose Republican votes, which is kind of okay because the Democrats can pass these next two packages through the reconciliation process combined, or just the next stimulus package through the reconciliation process combined. But again, they need all the Democratic votes, which is mainly just Senator Joe Manchin. I mean, almost all the Democrats will fall in line when they do the reconciliation process. We really only have to worry about one guy, maybe two, Kirsten Sinema, but mainly Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin did vote yes on the third stimulus check package. And he's, as I said, he already said that he knows the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan, is going to have to be passed through the reconciliation process. He already knows this. So, and he knows that to pass that, he has to vote yes. So, I mean, if you kind of read between the lines with what he's saying, he's basically saying he already knows what he needs to do. Is they're just going to have to negotiate on it. So, let me know your thoughts on this. Do you see a problem here? I mean, I know that the Democrats are going to pass this either way. They're going to pass it with the bipartisan group, the infrastructure package, and then the next stimulus package, or they're going to pass them together through the reconciliation process. I personally think that this kind of curveball that Nancy Pelosi threw in there kind of complicated things a little bit because I really didn't see any problem with passing the infrastructure package through reconciliation or through bipartisan. Get that passed, get that done. It's great for America, creates millions of jobs. Maybe we'll see some stimulus items out of there, like internet credits, basically where the government will pay for your internet, like they're doing with this emergency broadband program, which thousands of our viewers have gotten $50 off per month. Maybe we'll see more of that. Maybe we'll see some senior care in there, maybe a couple of different things. But we all kind of really know that all the next stimulus provisions are in the next stimulus package, the American Families Plan. There's about 20 of them that could include checks, monthly recurring checks, child tax credits, things for seniors like Social Security raises or Medicare expansion, additional benefits, free college, all those things, right? I didn't see a problem with passing the infrastructure package first and then having the Democrats do the reconciliation process. I kind of thought that was always what would happen. But Nancy Pelosi's kind of stamped this insurance policy on there. And now President Biden is kind of caught in the middle because Republicans are threatened to pull out of that infrastructure package, which is kind of okay. But President Biden really wants to get a deal done with Republicans to show that they, have bipartisan support. Because next year, when the next election comes, if the Democrats lose even a single vote in the Senate or just a couple votes in the House, they could lose control of either one of them. Then the Republicans will control one or both or anything like that. Then they're going to have to pass bills with the Republicans. And remember, they can only do a limited amount of bills through the reconciliation process. Now, in about 3 months, they get a whole nother round of reconciliation cards, 2 to 3 more reconciliation cards that they can use up until the midterm elections. But all these other bills, they have to pass with Republican support. So if you strong arm the Republicans too much, they'll throw that Republican blockade up again where they won't vote yes on anything that Democrats want unless they're passing it through the reconciliation process, which we know they can only do a couple times per year. And if the Democrats lose control of the House or the Senate in the future, President Biden and the Democrats might not be able to pass anything. So that's kind of why they're walking this fine line. They have to thread the needle to not make the package too large where they lose Republicans, not make the package too small where they lose Democrats, and not strong arm the Republicans too much to where they're going to start blockading any other bill you try to pass, unless, of course, they get rid of the filibuster. Now, we know that President Trump wanted to get rid of the filibuster as well back in 2017 and 2018 when they controlled the presidency, the House, and the Senate. Now the Democrats control all three. They want to get rid of the filibuster. Both parties have wanted to get rid of the filibuster, which is the process where you need 60 votes to pass a bill in the Senate, because it's very hard to get 60 votes unless you basically get everybody on board. And we've seen that time and time again where, a bill will go in the Senate, it'll get 55 votes, 58 votes, and it'll fail because it doesn't have the 60 votes. I think that personally, I don't know if it's going to happen this year or not, but I think that at some point in the future, the filibuster will be either removed or weakened. It's been weakened multiple times throughout the years. It used to be 67 votes. They've weakened it down. It used to be they have all these different criteria, right? It's been weakened like 5 times throughout the years. And they're talking about now getting rid of it as well or lowering it to 55. And Republicans hate this right now because Democrats happen to be in control of the Senate right now. But 2 years ago, when the Republicans were in control of the Senate, they were trying to get rid of the reconciliation process, or I'm sorry, get rid of the filibuster. So getting rid of the filibuster, whoever's in charge of the Senate would make it a lot easier for that party to pass bills, which, as we know, the Senate kind of flip-flops like every couple years. It goes Republican, Democrat, Republican, Democrat. And even former President Trump wanted to get rid of it. They weren't able to get rid of it then. They're trying to get rid of it now. Republicans hate that idea now, but it'll probably benefit them in the future when and if they take over the Senate again. Right now, it'll benefit the Democrats and really benefit stimulus packages, because if the filibuster was gone and they only needed 50 to 51 votes to pass any bill in the Senate, oh my God, we would see stimulus like you've never seen before. They could just pass a standalone bill just for stimulus checks and just pass it, boom. And you wouldn't, the reason they can't do that right now is they can't pass just a bill for stimulus checks. They can't pass just a bill for Social Security raises. They can't pass just a bill for Medicare raises. They can't pass just a bill for the child tax credit monthly checks, because that's 4 different bills, right? They only have one, maybe 2 more reconciliation processes this year. The Senate parliamentarian says 1, but they can really go back and kind of amend them. So there's kind of a little trick there. And then they're going to get more in October. So they have a limited amount, but they can't be passing single bills like that. And that's why they have to cram these huge, big, massive packages and then pass them through reconciliation because they only get a limited amount of bills. I mean, if the filibuster wasn't there, they could pass a fourth stimulus check bill this week. Bam, just vote on it, boom, pass it. And then, oh, Social Security raise, oh, let's make a bill just for that. All right, boom, vote on it, pass it, bam. They could do all these things literally one by one by one. Now, Republicans would hate that right now, but when they take back control of the Senate, they'd have that luxury as well, too. So, yeah, that's kind of the fine line and what we're going on right now. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think that Nancy Pelosi and President Biden have kind of hurt their chances to get a deal done with the Republicans? Do you think they should do a deal without the Republicans and just pass them through as a massive stimulus package? The problem with that is that you might lose Senator Joe Manchin. He doesn't want to spend $6 trillion. He might spend $4 trillion or something like that, but getting him to agree with a non-bipartisan group with none of his Republican buddies in there, even though he's a Democrat, that makes him a little more antsy and a little bit less likely to pass it. He'll probably vote for these when all is said and done. But that's why I said you have to thread this fine line, not be too large, not be too small. The soup's got to be just right for everybody, right? You got to get all the Democrats in line for the reconciliation process, which again means not too high, not too low. We're probably going to see stimulus checks in there because without stimulus checks, we'll probably have a lot of Democrats that are unhappy, and that'll make them not want to vote. So that's why I think that we'll see at the bare minimum a fourth stimulus check, if not the recurring stimulus checks or an extension of the child monthly checks that are recurring. Because again, if you get just a couple Democrats that say no, this has to be in there, just like Joe Manchin tries to do. They can't pass it. They have to go and negotiate with those people. And there's so many Democrats, there's over 100 of them that are pushing for and have publicly come out or either signed letters to President Biden, not only just for a fourth stimulus check, but for monthly recurring stimulus checks. You know, we have those two bills for $1,000 per month and $2,000 per month from the Senate. So that's why I personally think that there will be at least, at the bare minimum, a fourth stimulus check. Because I just don't see all the Democrats voting for it without at least a single stimulus check in there. Now, I could see maybe a negotiation if they need to go this route to lower the income thresholds a little bit, because you get some Democrats saying, well, people making up to $80,000 per person or $160,000 for a married couple or $112,000 for a single filer head of household, that they don't really need a stimulus check. So maybe I could see some negotiation coming down a little bit on the income threshold. But that's why I personally don't see how they're going to pass this next stimulus package without a stimulus check. Because again, you got to make everybody happy. And there's just so many Democrats that are pushing for this. I think that when the time comes and we get down to the breaking point, I think the Democrats are going to be like, listen, these two packages are $4 trillion, maybe $6 trillion. There's plenty of money in there for a fourth stimulus check. So let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'll keep you up to date on everything here. Remember, new videos come out here on my channel at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new updates, and click the bell icon to all notifications to get reminder notifications when we go live. I will keep you up to date on the stimulus checks package and all the other stimulus programs that you guys know exist out there. I'll keep you up to date on them as well. You can click this video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. This top video is an urgent video about a deadline for the child tax credit monthly checks. If you have children, watch that. And this bottom video is about the Social Security increase that President Biden and Senator Bernie Sanders and a lot of senators want to do. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.